Okay, previously we talked about the architecture. So this is like the fourth part of finding out information about the operating system and the kernel. So now what we'll do in this one is just keep watching and you will know. Okay, now that we understand these vocabularies, the kernel, Linux, Unix, BSD architecture, what we will do now is we'll use some command that will give us the system related information. Number one we have the uname, which just stand for the Unix name. It's just a command that displays system information, and when we use the -a flag, it does mean R, and Unix name -a mean show every information about the system. So when we type it like that, I hope you can see that we will get something like this: Linux, Debian, Prevesk, and the version and the architecture. So the first thing over here, you can see this just mean the operating system. Right here it's just Linux, not the BSD or Unix. And the second thing is the Debian Prev, as this is the host name, the computer name or on the network. And this right here is the kernel version. And this is the architecture that we talked about. It's the AMD 64. So it's like a 64-bit architecture. And I don't know a bunch of other information, and I am not sure if we will get this information or no. Let me check if we really get this information or no. Let me just go to Kali Linux and type uname -a, and I think yeah, we do get this information. So we need to see what this is. So it's like something related to the Debian version, and this is like when this kernel was compiled. And this is the architecture type. It's actually 64-bit, and over here it's the kernel version explanation. See, it already told that this thing right here. So the version we have is 4.1902-21 AMD 64. We do know this is the architecture type, and the first thing we have is this is the major version. Like when you go from 4 to 5, just mean that you are going big architectural changes like major rewrite or something like very huge thing. And the second one we have is that 19 you see over here. It's the minor version, like you add the new features. Like for example, in the 4.19 has new features than the 4.18, similar to the iOS, if you know about those updates. Yeah, that's the perfect example. And then you see the .0, this is for the bugs and security patches. So right now it's 0, so it means that 0 bugs and security patches were fixed, or like nothing were fixed. So for example, if we see, we have these both version. So a security hole or vulnerability might have in this one and get patched in this one. So if you see this one, it might have that, and it's important to notice that as well. And the next one we have is the 21. Right here you can see this. What is this? This is Debian specific. Debian takes the official kernel and applies their own patches. They just take the official Linux kernel, apply their own patches and fixes. And 21 just mean they have done this 21 times. And why we need to be careful with the kernel version is that an exploit, like for example the exploit that is targeting a specific version, like for example 4.19.0, and it will only work on this version, not on, like for example, it's you are trying the same exploit on this point one version or another version. So that's important to notice these small details. Basically the kernel exploit are incredibly version specific. And then we have the second command, which is the cat, which will show the information stored in this file, in this directory. So what this shows is it's a human-readable description of the operating system. This was originally used to display a message when users log in. Okay, so we do know about the cat. Just read and display the file content, and what this specific file stored is at this path. This file actually stored, as I said over here, that operating system related information. So when you type this, you will get like this, and this is the distribution Debian, and this is the Linux version, which is 10, and this //n is replaced with the currently login user, and this is that gets with the terminal line number. Let me actually go to my Kali Linux and type that cat etc I issue. Okay, it's with single I. So we are on Kali distribution, and it's like a bit different. I think I need to understand this, so I will just give this and also the another one, this one. Can you just explain why is my own different? I just type the same command and I got different response. You can see at the very start of this message. Oh, it's like different version number, like similar to the Debian that uses the Toy Story character names. Okay, so I just like quick way of to confirm what distribution and version we are on. And then we have another command which is the cat/etc/os-os release. So this is like a bit more modern way to get the distribution related information than this issue one. So when you type this, we get like something like this. So this is the distribution, this is the version number, and it's like a complete name and it's like the breakdown of that. So we have the Debian and version 10, or also we can call it Buster. This is the human-readable name, and this is just the distro name Debian, and this is the version number, and this is the code name. Yeah, we do know this is the code name. So for example, if we are on this machine and we want to find the exploit for that, what we will need is the distribution, is the distro and the version name. So if we exactly type like this and get something like exploit for that, it's good to go. But if we type incorrect one, it might not work on the Debian 10. Like for example, we type the Debian 9 and we get some exploit and we are trying to test it on Debian 10, it might not work. So we need to match it. I can just go to my Kali Linux and type the same command, cat etc/os-release, and this is the human readable name. This is the Kali Linux that we are using. This is the version of it, the specific version. Now I am using very old version, I know, but so when we are trying to find out exploit, we will use this id, the Kali Linux, and the specific version, like Searchsploit and the let me just add the codes as well. Kali and the version is 220, like this. Okay, we got nothing. I think I have done this wrong. Hey, so if I wanted to use the Searchsploit and try to find out any exploit if available, what would I type in the terminal, like Searchsploit and the ID and the version ID or something else? Let's see now. I think I just only type the Kali. So let me get back there and type the Kali Linux. Searchsploit Kali Linux. Okay, we get nothing. Okay, so I think there is no exploit maybe for that. Okay, now we will basically, I think, use the version id cards for the specific version and the name. So only after that we will see if any exploit exists or no. Another command we have is show the kernel version and information about how it was compiled, including what compiler was used. So now it just show a bit more information like kernel version and information about how it was compiled. And so when we type this command, what we will get is Linux version this, and this is the architecture. This is same kernel version as uname-a. This is the email of the team. So they basically use this GCC compiler of this specific version to compile this Linux kernel. I think we do have a bunch of information. What is GCC compiler? It's a program that converts human readable source code written in these languages into executable binary that computer can actually run. So it's just what the GCC compiler does. So we have a source code of an exploit or a program. We use the GCC, that this is like a translator converting human readable or high level programming languages into low level. Okay, so once we gather all the information, you can see right here the operating system and kernel related information. What we will do is use the, in our Kali Linux or attacker machine, what we will do is use the Searchsploit tool and then use the operating system related information, kernel information to try to find out exploit for that. And we can also go for the exploitdatabase.com or the cvedetail.com or github.com, and just for confirmation before compiling exploit, we just type the uname -m. Let me actually type what it does. It shows the architecture type, I guess, just directly uname-m. Okay, yeah, we got the architecture type, and one we have is the file command file command and the downloaded exploit to see what architecture it has. So we need to match it with this. To search if the compiler exists on the target machine or not, we'll type the which GCC or GCC version. So a bunch of other detail. This is the same thing that kernel exploit are version specific. Dirty cow is like for example, we have this specific kernel version, and since this is new and dirty cow affect only these version. Dirty cow is basically some exploit that give you some root access. We will, I think, study this in the coming videos. So we are basically checking the kernel version compatibility. Then over here we will the build date and the architecture type as well. So this is just cheat sheet. I hope you get the idea of all this system related, enumerating system related information and kernel related information. If you have any question, let me know in the comments. I will make sure to answer you. See you soon in the next video.